Hello. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot done this month. We ended up getting our planning permit in, which is exciting, but has left us a little light of wallet. That means we haven't got much we can put into the bus. So we'll see what we can do for low to no cost. So I've been busy, but there hasn't been that much to film. I've just been crawling around on my hands and knees taking measurements. What I've ended up doing is actually started to make a model of the bus for the floor plan. I'm not actually drawing the existing bus, only the features that I've got to work around, such as the wheel wells here and the steps. The rest of it is all going to be framing. I've put in the roof ribs. I think this is going to be super useful.
Good Friday, Easter long weekend. The weather has turned very wintry. So main thing we're gonna check now is whether the bus is still waterproof. All right. So far, so good.
Hang on. Oh, what?
Let's see where it's come from though.
Water there as well. Alright, well, two. Got one in the middle, one in that corner. Front's good. That was really bad before, so that's a win. So the main aim today is to double check and cross check the model that I've been working on all week with the actual measurements of the bus, just to make sure that all the timber that we've got to order is going to fit properly. It's just going to be a case of going through this bit by bit with a tape measure and yeah, accounting for it all in a spreadsheet. Very dull, very boring, but necessary.
Good boy.
Alright, so that's it, full day's work. What did we get done? Just that.
The rarest piece of timber.
All we could find was one piece of 42 by 30, which is what I've designed in for the entire floor plate and top plate for these walls. And we went to 5 different hardware stores, none of them have it in stock, just one piece. So that's it, that's the day, and I guess we've got to wait until we can get some more. So even though we could only get one length of this, we did manage to get all the 30 by 30s that we need. So this will be all the uprights right along the wall, and all of this as well, which is the 1745, and this will be the frame for the bed, all the whole bed area. So semi-successful, but we can't start cutting this up until we've got the top plates in, which of course is 4230. So we'll have another one of these up here, and then the uprights will fit between. So we've got our walls in all the way around. Good feeling. What we still need to do is work out what we did at the back there. Because we're still getting water and we don't want to put anything down just yet, so we'll sort those leaks out. And then this will also have framing put in. Once we've done that, we can finalise where we're going to put all the power outlets. We're thinking of dragging these back, having one there, and we'll pull the kitchen ones back as well. It's a little bit to reshuffle, but after that, we can then give it a good clean and start insulating. Good progress. So it's now Monday, the last day of the long weekend. I've brought the generator down. I'm going to give the bus a good hoover out. I've got a heater as well, so I'm going to start putting a little bit of insulation in. It needs to be around 20 degrees in there. So we'll see how cosy we can get the bus, which would be nice. First things first, cup of tea. So mainly I want to get all this cleared out. You can see it's just full of swarf and bits of bird nest and stuff. So yeah, we'll clear all that out and down the bottom as well. And then I'll start filling in those areas with the spray foam. See how far I can get with that before I run out. And then we're going to try and modify those spray cans so they actually shoot a fan. They're not designed to do it, but I've seen a little video on YouTube of a guy who's managed to clamp the nozzle and make that work, so it might be our best bet. Another thing I need to do is to pull back the power points here so that they're at the right position. Okay, well that's the kitchen one done. I think that's going to be a much better place for it. Let's move on to the bedroom ones. And there we go, so that one will go there. Rerouted all of that. And then the other one will be mounted on the other side there. So yeah, quite happy with that. I think I'm set on this being the final position for these. Hoover straight through the floor. It's rotten through. It's just because this leak was left to work its way in for decades and it wasn't addressed, so now we've got a fairly big problem on our hands. What a nightmare. And I am sweating. Bloody hell, it's hot in here. Getting a load of old junk out. Almost ready to start insulating, I'd say. I'm going to start down the bottom, and then once I get better at handling the gun, I'll do the top stuff. So it turns out these cans don't really go that far. I managed to fill in that much on this side and about the same, just shy, on the other. That would probably need a second layer as well, and that was a whole can gone. I've got one more of these big cans and a little can as well, so what I think I'm going to do is try and run that experiment. So I've flattened it out. We'll see if that will throw a fan. Otherwise we're going to have to find some other way of doing this. Well, it went on. It wasn't quite as wide a fan as I was hoping for, but I think that could probably be down to the shape of the nozzle that I've made. If it was tighter, that should go out wider. So before I go home, I'm gonna have a look at this hole in the back of the bus here. Yeah, not great. The equivalent piece on the other side there, that's all rusting as well. They both need to come out, unfortunately. Yeah, bad news. I'm gonna have to figure out a plan for this. Yeah, a bit of a shame that. I thought it was all going too well. It's gonna be something, right? It's the following week. I've been to the steel supplier and picked up some angle and some flat, and that will go into the back of the bus. Yeah, look at that. The size of it. Brilliant. Yeah, rock solid. Perfect. I want to try and sort the leaks out. It's been dry the last 3 days. I want to use the opportunity to try and see if I can finally fix these bloody leaks. And then if I feel that that's been sorted out properly, I'll have a crack at pulling all this up. I've just gobbed it in everywhere. I've put it on the, in between the seals, all around the seals, above, below the seals. It's a horrible job. But anyone who's tried to do anything like this before knows that when you get to this point, you're just desperate. I mean, I know the solution is new seals, but I just can't find them. I can't find them in this size anywhere. And I don't want to have to take them out, get them measured, because then I'm without a window for God knows how long. So this will have to do. Been hammering away at this for about half an hour or so. I've uncovered all the bolts that run through to the steel underneath, so I'm just going to zip them off with the angle grinder and hopefully I can lift it out. I've tried to cut through all the screws, still not budging, everything's just fused in. And then on top of that, they've covered the whole thing in bitumen, so it's all completely under that. None of the screw heads are visible or accessible anyway. My patience has run out with this thing. Right, now my lungs are filled with sawdust and asbestos, feeling much better. I mean, the first thought was to just replace what's here, but this side is still solid because it was furthest away from where the water was getting in. So you can see the ply is still there. And I can either spend a couple of hours trying to take it apart as neatly as possible because I don't want to damage, you know, all the way around here. There's no reason for it to be at this same height. So if I lifted everything up, that should be healthier metal to weld into, and will save me a lot of work trying to clear out all of this stuff. I'm gonna go and have a think about where I want to put this. It's just started to rain right on time. I'm gonna head off, come back tomorrow, see what we can do. I've just picked up plywood for the floor. It's my last little bits for the metal, and it's hacking down. Today's gonna be absolutely miserable. Man, it is drenched. Oh, I'm nervous. Okay. Oh, bloody hell. And now it's coming in there. I'm so sick of this. This side's all dry. Well, that's good. I mean, that was the worst of the original leak. So at least that's okay. This has been stemmed, but it's still coming through just a little bit, just a dribble. And now that's come out of nowhere. Sick of it. So I left yesterday saying that I was going to go home and think about how I'll do the metalwork and where I'm going to put the floor. But I got home, had a beer, and promptly forgot about it. Back to the original thinking, rebuild it higher up. I'm thinking where these tabs are, this is about 100 mil up, and we'll just rebuild as it was, and then I'll cut the ply. The intention at the moment is to cut the ply so it kind of goes in and around all of these. I think that's probably the best bet. So first things first, let's take all this cabling off, get that out of the way. I'll cut out that bit of angle that's doing nothing. Yeah, start measuring up and then maybe cut some metal to length. All these tabs have been zipped off now. I've cleared all the cabling out of the way, taken the L bracket off that was there. Yeah, so I've just marked out where the new metal will go in, so I'll take a flap disc to all of that, clean it up, and that should be ready to weld to, and then I'll start cutting the length. Spot on. Less than 1 mil of play. Nice. Alright, 1 of 4. Alright, well that's both the long pieces cut now, fit well. I've got a plan for the flat bar as well, to bridge between them. It would have been nice to have an angle all the way around and I'll just have a nice mitre join at each corner, but the offcuts just aren't long enough, unfortunately, and these were the lengths I had available. I got that flat bar out of the scrap bin, so it cost me very little. I'll make it work. Gonna have some food and come back to it and stitch it in, I reckon. Well, the loud machine's been fired up outside. See if we can get this all pieced together. These flat bars I'm just gonna put in like this. And they'll go across to each side that way and be welded up against that as well. Not perfect, but more than enough for this. So hopefully this illustrates what I'm trying to do. So I've already welded on these side bits here. Still don't have one on this side yet. Yeah, a couple of issues. So this comes out a lot further than this, so I'm gonna have to kind of bend that round. It's all right, there's still loads of flex in it. These are just tack welds for now. The other side is flush, but will just need to be kind of lifted up a little bit. That's all fine. And then I'll weld it in each spot. And because I can't clamp over this, it's just too deep. I'll weld all this in, and then I guess I'm just gonna have to kind of put the other piece in and hang it on each side. Okay, so the frame's in, and it is strong. Going nowhere. Factory finish, better than new that. Onto the wood while that paint's drying. Have a measure up, try and draw what's needed. There it is. Had to do a little bit of nip tuck Just trimming these to follow that curve. But otherwise, went in okay. That's rock solid now. So I can stand on this. We'll still keep trying to fix the leaks. I won't leave this in here now. Doesn't take much to fasten this down. But I'm glad I got that done. It's ready just to go in once we sort this leak out. That's me being optimistic. I might never get fixed. I don't know what we're going to do about it. Awkward bloody shape as well. You can't just buy a new one. Anyway, big day. Seems we are getting more done this month than we thought. I'm not under the bus. This is the Land Rover. I think that's about as much as we'll get done down the bus this month. The weather's good, so I'm taking the opportunity to give the disco a service. We heard from the planning department at the council, and it all sounds like it's gone through quite cleanly. They're just gonna get it to the senior person to give us that last stamp of approval, and we're expecting to get our planning permit imminently. Genius British engineering. Well, like I say, I don't think we're going to get anything more done this month, so I'll leave it there, and hopefully we'll be able to get more done next month and start getting these trees cleared. Fingers crossed. See you then.